My word. Well, I'm excited about this display video. Before I move forward, what is in common about every artifact that you see here is that it came from the clay pot. Some 2 years ago, I sort of discovered the clay pot next to the site that you've heard me mention more than once called the Archaic. But the clay pot is developing. And I've been able to be out there and find some artifacts, and these are the top shelf pieces from the clay pot. So that's what they have in common. What I like to do is get a perspective of what one area, and it might be 200 yards by 150 yards of occupation, but one area. Now, there was a lot of other artifacts that were found out there. We're going to go around and get a close-up of some of these. But I wanted to post this with a couple objectives in mind. Hopefully to inspire you to keep going out there and working to find an area or two of your own. Now, the North American Indian were definitely from here all the way to California. No doubt about it. So as we go around this circle here on Indian Trace, really appreciate all the comments. And many of you step up and have enjoyed some of these display videos to get a perspective or to gain a little insight. And that's what it's about if you're going to find more. You have to look smart and you'll find more. Another reason that I wanted to post this, and we'll go around, I'll make a conversation out of it as we take a look at some of the pieces. This is a scraper. This is not a point. This is an incredible piece. We've seen that before. It's just unique. We have sort of a cortex here, really smooth. Rhyolite's very resilient. Another sort of very smooth, very well worn and used right there, never touched. And then they just went with that shape. Whatever the person was doing, I'm sure this thing just worked for them. Just a unique artifact. After finding a few, I usually can tell if something is slightly unique or not. I like it. The clay pot, all of these. Okay? So one sort of site, and it helps get me inspired when I go back there. If I find absolutely nothing, I will remember, there's much more here than nothing. And I tell myself that because of this. And many of the other artifacts that I've found there, that I've given many away. But these, if they touch your heart, I hold on to them. Make my own personal collection, and that's smart for us to do. I also wanted to make this video, look at this marl mountain with a long stem on the back. Great piece of rhyolite. Make this video because I want to add 2 political interest links on it. Check them out. Let's together as Americans do our own homework. I implore you, consider, if you dare listen to the mainstream news media, the lies, propaganda, misrepresentations they're giving. Why? They don't ever care to cite primary source resource material. Look at this. Marl Mountain. The clay pot is the place that provides that quartz with the inclusions. So because the mainstream news media, and some of you are loyal to it in some ways, and that's fine. We don't need to get an argument out of this, but just consider, why don't they put video clips of primary source resource of the person saying what they said the person said? Live audio, soundtrack, resource material. Why? Because they want to try to control the narrative, like these fake pipe bombs supposedly sent to liberal politicians. Americans know, and we're not dumb. False flags right before the election. Caravans moving up, which are some 60 days away, 800 miles. They can't make that in time for the election, so they're trying to control or push public opinion. Now, the United States of America is a great country. We're looking to help a lot of people. Here's another piece of rhyolite. And I don't want to go on with the politics, but I'm posting this video so that at least I can get 2 of which I feel out of maybe 15, 20 that I've reviewed really great segments. Such incredible journalists out there now. Look at this piece. The clay pot. To give perspective of their size too. Pick them up once in a while. Now you can see this. I mean, that's exceptional. Maybe that's woodland, I don't know. I do know that it goes way back because we have the older Marl Mountain, the older Guilford Yumas. Look at that piece. And I have defended the comments of many people that say, why are you showing artifacts and talking about politics? Well, politics made a quick destruction of these North American Indians that we say we love. Their complete non-understanding of politics, at least the politics of greed, deception, and lying, of which we're trying to clean this place up from, of which we're trying to break the back of, with freedom, with liberty. And although many people fight it, that is exactly what Trump is trying to do with transparency. And, you know, it's a hard fight. But that's why they go together perfectly. Look at this Marl Mountain from the clay pot. And I don't find any rough edges in it. They go together seamlessly because the better we can understand what's going on around us in our lives, which are intimately connected to your vote. Hey, there's another good point. I was able to bring my mother-in-law, who's older now, really wanted to vote. Look at this Guilford Yuma. And we all went down and voted, and my son, who's 18, got to vote for the first time in his life. So did I. Happy. We knew ahead of time that we'd be voting red. Listen, there's no platform of ideas, of anything that's a decent idea, unfortunately, in the Democratic Party. I wish there was. And if you're a Democrat and you have these good ideas, which your party is representing, tell me. Bugle it. Promote it. Look at that Guilford Yuma. Mercy, right? And here's a piece of smoky quartz. But I think the American people in public, in waves, are supporting being proud about their nation. Unapologetically. I am a nationalist, of course. I love my nation. I love my country. Why should anybody feel that they need to be ashamed of that? Look at that piece. Smoky quartz from the garden. You know, and it's really an issue. So I just wanted to sort of follow my heart and share a little bit politically, but maybe in a way that somebody can consider it. We are not against the contest of ideas. That's what the United States of America was built on. But there needs to be some good ideas, not screaming and yelling and cussing and spitting and hitting and having fits and going to the Capitol and banging on the door because you don't agree. Come on. We want intelligent people with great ideas about how things should run. And listen, having a strong body of people moving up from South America, from Mexico, they're 800 miles away. Get this, it's going to take 60 days or more for them to get here walking. And they won't be here by election. Look at that Marl Mountain, will you? Excuse me, I'm getting confused. Guilford Yuma, and it's a smoker. So if you haven't clicked this off by now, you might be flowing along with some decent thoughts. Listen, I don't come from a brainwashed environment where everyone around me agrees. I've had to forge out what I feel is the very best for my family, for my sons, for this nation, for freedom. Sure as you live, I'm not going to let anybody just come push the door open on my front door of my house and squat and live and eat and do whatever they want inside my house. The country is no different. there's a guest and they have a need, I'll try to help them. There is a gentleman way, there is a legal way for people to immigrate to the country, and they should be able to. But this group, caravan, we're not going to have it. Law enforcement, the United States military, Americans, the president. He's not a coward. Neither are we. And they can't just bully their way to decide they're going to change our laws with their bullish attitude. It's not going to happen. So although they may arrive finally sometime after elections, which they're trying to persuade somebody who doesn't have any resolution of how they should vote, if they should arrive, there's going to be a big change, and the world is going to see that the United States of America is indeed a sovereign nation, that we can be proud. We've brought the world so much good and done so much good. One of the first pieces I found at the clay pot. Interesting, Guilford. It does have quartz inclusions in it. I don't know if I can get close enough for you to see that. Those are little teeny quartz pieces. My camera, I just can't get close enough. Couple pieces in the middle here. Just some great artifacts off the clay pot, which has then scored itself as a definite and strong North American Indian site. And even my wife, and she's not always into politics and everything, but she read a report and read it to me this morning about the caravan, because I don't always just jump up and share with her, because it gets emotionally overloading. There's a lot going on. You have to be a strong, freedom-loving human being to handle all the bad things that are going on, to try to be and make a difference individually in this earth. Now look at this Guilford Yuma. I mean to tell you, one of my all-time favorites from the clay pot. I'm taking a little extra time in this video. I have fought and I have looked and I have investigated different reports to post all the time. If you have the courage, think about the two reports that I posted if you haven't listened to them already. There's incredible independent journalists that are stepping up. And if you listen to them for a little while, you'll simply say, well, this person loves the country. They are integrate. They don't have any secondary motive. Which is not something you can say for some politicians in majority on one side of the political party. Now, granted, there are plenty of blue blood Republicans who do have ulterior motives. It's sad. But right now, the Republican Party, and please go out and vote, has a platform of ideas and desires for the nation that will make it strong. If you want a strong nation for your loved ones, for your children, if you want a nation that affords you freedom. Listen, freedom of speech is under attack. Even Indian Trace here, my channel, is censored, shadow banned, because I'm sharing these things and because I'll share these links. Their computer analytics jumps up in limits. You have to understand, every post I make, they have canceled, disconnected my ability to freely share posts, up to 100 posts, because, listen, I supported and believed in the wrong people, the wrong ideas. They didn't like it. Oh, Lord, look at this piece of quartz. So I'm giving you a good look at all the great pieces that come from the clay pot. Here's a prize. Mercy. So as we finish up, and here's a blade in quartz. I've rambled a lot, but I also read and pursue the heart, at least as far back to primary source resources I can, of the North American Indians. Now, what we read of them comes from the historic period Indians and what was captured then by people who had a heart for them. Going further back, there's a lot of speculation we're talking about when you talk about paleo or archaic or Mississippian. But we can grasp a lot of their nature through the beginning writings of the 1800s, maybe the very late 1700s in journals. And listen, they were very orderly, very decent. And I remember sharing the other day, as I finished with this, look at this piece from the clay pot, that the North American Indian were happy if you came into their land and came in for peace, to talk with you, to find out why you're there, to set a blood covenant with you. But you're not going to go there and decide you're going to live any way you please and do anything you want with their property and with their game and their hunting lands. No, that wasn't going to happen. You would go in with respect, or you would be disrespected. And let that sink in a little when it comes to people who are trying to smash in your front door, smash in our nation, and do whatever they please. These are not refugees. No, they're not. They're people looking for a better opportunity, and there's a right way to come here. It's a free nation. Everybody has a right, but there is a right way. And if there is no law and order, you get ready, because dark times will come. Some of us are mentally preparing for that as well, because we can't control everything. And the last point that I didn't show was this piece of sugar quartz. A great point from the clay pot. It's reddish. So that was my political encouragement. Go out and vote. Follow your heart. Think about things. Go out and vote. If you want to be free, vote for freedom. If you want to be able to pursue your life, your happiness, do it. Vote early. Encourage your relatives to vote. That's the clay pot. Just taking a little time with you today. Hope you find out there.